Howdy folks, I am the Brandish Snail here, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time tonight working on some of my little enclosures for my pets, my tarantulas. So one of the first things that I want to work on, I got like a little problem I got to deal with in one of these over here, but we're going to get to that here in just a minute. Before I do anything, I want to go ahead and have a shot with everybody. It's one of my little traditions with my videos. A little bit of Glenlivet. Cheers, YouTube. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to say before we go anywhere else is hello, Kim. Gihigug Matika, I miss you very much. We may be half a world apart, but forever together in our heart. All right, to my enclosures now. The first one I want to go over is one that I made in, I think, my last video that I posted. This right here is the one for the whip scorpion. The whip scorpion is no longer with us, unfortunately. It had passed away, but I'm keeping its enclosure alive. As you can see, these plants have been doing very, very well in here. They're very healthy. Got a couple little brown spots, but nothing major. It takes a lot of trimming down. I have to trim this thing about every 2 weeks, otherwise it just gets out of control. I just did a major trim on this plant in the back. I'm removing this for now because I need to do something in here. Okay, so I did a major trim on this one in back, but that stimulated a lot of new growth at the base. So this one's propagating really well. It's throwing down a great root structure and system. And right back here, there's the bromeliad. It's doing very, very well. There's some new growth in the middle, and I think, nope, not flower yet, but we might be getting some flowers coming up out of that here pretty soon. That'll be kind of cool if I can get that to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and keep this set up as is. I'm probably going to end up putting an arboreal tarantula in here. Like, I have quite a few options. My roommate gave me a sun tiger. When it gets a little bit bigger, I might put it in here. I'm hoping that this won't be too humid of an environment for the sun tiger, but I'm going to do a little bit more research and see just how much it can tolerate, so I don't want to make it too bad for it in here. Haven't had any mold growth or anything. That's the good part about this. My little fern in front, yeah, it's had better days. It's still hanging in there, but I've been giving it some special attention. I was just thinking a little bit ago about getting some fertilizer to use that would be safe to for animal use. You know, that would be nice and natural, organic and everything, something that won't hurt it. But one thing I did want to do while I have this out is I got this little path that just kind of naturally formed in the back here. And I thought it might be cool to take some sand and just kind of go ahead and fill that out a little bit and make that path a little bit more a part of the environment in there. So let's go ahead and pull this back toward me. You're going to have to pardon my setup here because I'm not like, I don't have a camera rig, I don't have a camera, I don't have a lighting rig, so I'm just using an old lamp I got here, one of my high spectrum UV lamps. But anyway, I'm just going to be exotic layering it tonight. Alright, so one of the first things I want to get done is fill this path in a little bit more back here. So I got my sand. Oh, this is fun with one hand. And I'm just going to kind of pour it right in place. It's going to catch on some moss, but once I put a little bit in, it'll fall down into where it needs to go. That'll act like a nice little dividing point. This is a challenge with one hand and keeping it on what I'm doing. This is going to be a long video, by the way. I don't know how to edit or any of that stuff, so you're just going to have to bear with me. Alright, and this is, I like to use my little fan brush to kind of level stuff out, push it around, and make it look the way I really want it to look. Line a little bit going through like that. Okay. Now this sand has a clay additive to it. It's excavator soil. So whenever I use that, it will, when it gets wet, the clay causes it to harden, and it's something really good for a lot of digging reptiles to dig through. And I added into my natural substrate to give the tarantulas something to dig into. So right now I think I'm good with that. Or maybe there's like a little natural divot right there where I want to put some as well. So let me put a little bit more in. Like I said, this is probably going to be a long video because I'm just sticking around tonight. Anyone who comes and joins me and actually watches through the whole thing, hey, thank you very much. I might have to ask my roommate to run and grab me another cup full of sand. Roomie? Do you mind? Mm-hmm. And I also need the, oh, there's no sand in there. It's in the bedroom on the top shelf on my side. And I also need the water sprayer. I'm so unorganized. So, well, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. You can look at the same one in my last one. Heck, I forget how long it's been. It's been many months. I think it was like early summer or spring whenever I did this one. Thank you kindly, Roomie. Alright, now to finish what I was doing here. Thank you very much. There's something to drink here. Not sponsored. Alright, a little more brushing, because I don't like the way it's humped up there. You know, I want it to look a little bit natural. And like I said, this will harden. Once I spray it down, you'll see here in just a second. Okay. Sprayer time. So I'm just going to give it a light spritzing on the surface. Just enough to sink down to the layers. Now when that dries, it's going to be clunk clunk rock solid. I mean, not rock solid, it'll just be nice and firm. Alright, now that I got that done, I want to put a little bit of leaf litter on it because it doesn't look natural if it's that clean, right? Oh my god, can I get this lid off with just one hand? Uh-oh. There we go. There we go. Alright. How the fuck does Exotic Slayer do it? Alright, so I'm going to stick a little bit of this leaf litter up here. There we go. This nice little accent to maybe have a little bit of bunched up right there. That'll make things look kind of natural. And now put this back in place. Watch the fern, don't hurt the fern, you idiot. This moss around that fern is really going to help it out because that holds the humidity and keeps a lot of good moisture in there for it. Am I bleeding? Oh no, that's just a piece of leaf. Now that that's done, I'm going to give this a really good watering. And you guys can watch the fun because this is the home of hundreds of millipedes, I believe. I don't know how many are in there, but this thing erupts with millipedes. Not millipedes, isopods. There's some millipedes in here, but mostly it's isopod city. Now you see how heavily I water this? This is why I'm not sure this would be a good home for a tarantula, because this requires a lot of heavy watering, like rainforest stuff, to keep it doing really good. And there are all the millipedes. I wish I had a good camera. One of these days I want to get a really good camera so I can do really up-close pictures of these fascinating creatures. I love the millipedes. They're so much fun to watch. What are you doing walking on the glass like that? You don't stick too well to that, do you? Hi there, little fella. Oh, the rain's over. Now they're heading back down. See, they get up to the top, very top. Look at all them up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of them. Hi there, little one. See if I can get a good focus in close. Nope. I wouldn't mind getting a better camera with a good macro lens. That would be fun to get these shots with, wouldn't it? Alright, anyway. That's all for that one there. Now I want to show you one of my crown jewels of my collection. Right back here. This, look who escaped. Millipede on the run. A couple millipedes on the run. That's just a couple millipedes. Or, why do I keep calling my isopods millipedes? I'm a dork. They're just my isopods. No worries. Probably shouldn't have smoked that much weed before filming.
No, I'm definitely gonna have to edit that out.
Nah. There's entire channels on YouTube dedicated to weed smoking, dude. I ain't gonna get in trouble for that. Alright, now that I got the lights set up, this is my baby, my GBB, Chromatopelma cyanopubescens, also known as the green bottle blue, GBB. She is striking. She hasn't gotten old enough to get her teal carapace yet, but you can see close to her body she's getting that blue look on her legs and down the length, and her abdomen is so fat and orange. But this is her enclosure. I think that she's really been enjoying this piece here. She has done some pretty fantastic work on the webbing in here too. I don't want to disturb her too much. See how calm she is? She's always sitting out in front of things. She doesn't like to hide too much. But if I scare her, she'll run and hide. But this is her little hidey hole right back in here. That's her front door. And up there, this is her attic area, right? And then up here, this takes her out on top of things whenever she wants to. She'll sometimes sit up on top right there and look out over her domain. I'm very proud of this girl, and once again, I love how calm she is. She's taken to filming so much better than I thought she would. So tell me what you think in the comments. Chromatopubescens, Chromatopelma cyanopubescens, one of the best tarantulas in the hobby? Yes or no? I think yes. When she was young, she had these cute little pink legs like in my last video, but now my baby's growing up. Alright, let's go ahead and put her back now. Oh, and there she just went back in. She does spook, but she's really calm for the most part. She's always been a good eater too. I've never had problems whenever it comes to feeding time. Now these little guys I'm very proud of. Haspilopus, Haspilopus, the pumpkin patch. This one here always webs up to the very top of the lid. That way it knows every time I'm open its enclosure. I can probably get a good, let's see, there's a clear shot. I'm pretty sure this one's a female, still a little bit small to tell. And right here's my hand, just so you can see how small this one is now. It was a lot smaller, and she is growing fast if it is a girl. Her bottom, her booty is so huge. Look how big that butt is. She's a pretty good webber. She's not like the best I have, but this is her little den area right in. Let's see. Let me use my brush as my pointer. There we go. So this is the little den that she uses right here, and this one here I keep pretty dry. You notice I don't have a false bottom of gravel in this one because this is a terrestrial. It's not a fossorial. It doesn't burrow or anything like that. They prefer to stay up on top of things. You can see like she's sitting there right now. They don't tend to bolt out of their enclosure, but they do get very jerky. They'll just like run around in little circles inside there and get really scared. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Slow, careful movements is the best way to keep them from getting frightened. Right here is my other one, my other pumpkin patch. He's right over in this corner. I think that this one's a male because it's about half the size as the other one, and they are both sling mates, so they were born together. This is usually where it hangs out in that little. Come on, focus, focus. Thank you. That little thing right there. His water cup. One thing I like about these little containers is that they're stackable. I absolutely love that part. Now this is one of the main reasons I'm doing the video today. These right here are my sling condos. This is what I call them, at least. Let me slide my other group over. Trying to engage my light. Are you liking this format? Is anyone at all liking this, or is this like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life? I don't care. It's just something I'm doing for fun, and of course for my baby in the Philippines, so she can get a little better look at what I love. Alright, so these I call my sling condos. One thing I want to talk about really quick is this is just the way I prefer to do my slings and take care of them, okay? Most people you see in the hobby are going to use deli cups for their slings, and that's perfectly fine. You can see in that deli cup there's a little sling crawling around in there. He's perfectly healthy. One way is not better than the other. So I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that my way is better than other people's way of doing it. It's just the way I like to do it. Because to me, part of the hobby is actually building things like this. This is what I love to do. This is great and it's good for rearing your slings, but I like the aesthetic appeal of my condos. So I just wanted to get that out of the way to make sure no one was thinking that I'm saying that my way is better. Oh, check that out, shaman's penis. That's a cactus called the shaman's penis. It almost looks like a whale, like a beluga whale coming out of the water with a dick growing out of its back. Yeah, that'll demonetize it. Like I give a shit about monetization. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at my condos here. Here's my first one. The first ones we're going to be looking at are all the wagons. Now, okay, let me just get this out right away. I know that the new classification for the wagons is Tliltecodal. Okay, I get it. But they will always be Brachiopalma wagons to me, or B wagons for short. So I'm just going to call them wagons so I don't cause any arguments in the hobby. Alright, having said that, he kind of went in his little area to hide right there. But this is one of my little deals. If you're wondering, the little bitty water dishes, and here, right there's my finger. You can see just how small these enclosures are. This is this is the ink cups that they use in tattoo parlors. You can buy these like big old bags for like I think like $10 for a bag of 100. So it's not a bad investment if you want little tiny little water bowls for your slings. These are containers that I get from a little shop at the mall called the Container Store. I use a little drill I have to drill the ventilation holes in place. And these have been doing me pretty good. This is my second wagons. You can see that one's being a little coward and hiding under some sphagnum moss. Oh, if I didn't mention, for those not familiar with the Latin terms, the wagons is commonly known as the Mexican red rump. And here is my last wagons. Now on this one you can see it's spun like a little chute on the side, and it's been digging out a little bit. As you can kind of see, you can probably see it through there. There's its legs. He's hiding out in his little hidey hole. But that's okay. So that's my three wagon slings. Next is going to be the alba pilosum, or the curly hair tarantula. Again, these are all slings. Let's see where this one is. He might be under that moss. This one tends to like to hide under little moss patches. But he's not there right now. He's not in the moss. Oh, nope. There he is. He's hanging on the moss. So I'll go ahead and just put him right back down. That's kind of crazy. I'd never seen him just grip upside down on the moss before, unless he was in, unless he just molted and was holding on to the moss. I'll go ahead and put him back, and whatever he's doing, I'll let him have his peace about it. Next one up. Now this one here, I'm probably going to end up naming Digger, because this one likes to dig. So when I'm looking at the surface, come on, focus. Focus. Ford. Focus. Thank you. Okay, now that that's focused in, where is the hole? You see all of this pattern right here? The way this soil looks right in this area, this tells me that the tarantula has been bringing up little bitty tiny chunks of soil and depositing it on the surface. So when I go into the side, I can see this little dugout spot right there. Oh, and looky here. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. This is its home. He's dug out this entire layer underneath. This one loves to dig. And then he'll come up on the surface. He made a little plug that actually hides its burrow. And then it'll come up here, open that plug, and go rummaging around looking for food. Why some tarantulas do that and others don't, I'll never know. But that one just does not. Alright, and this right here is my very last one for the curly hairs. This is the one that I'm having the problem with. Right here, there's its burrow. It made its burrow in that little bitty corner. But look here. See that white stuff? That's mold. It was bad in here, and it was all over up in this area and this last night. I used a tool to just kind of scrape it all into a little pile and scooped it out so it wouldn't get too bad overnight. But now it's time that I go ahead and redo this enclosure so that this little guy is going to have a better place. Now, when I get this guy out of here, I'm probably going to need both hands. So this video's been running almost 30 minutes. Just to keep these a little bit shorter, I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down now, post it up, and then here in just a little bit I'll go ahead and I'll just take a little break. I'll go ahead and make another video of me redoing the enclosure. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of here. I know you probably want to watch that, but I'll need both hands. Well, when I come back, I might have my roommate actually hold the camera and film it while I'm doing the work. That way you guys can watch me, and if the little sling bolts, then you can laugh at me. Alright, until then, as always folks, take care of each other and be good. Talk to you later, partners.